Well, hey, how you doing? Jason Hodge here, and you know what? I had this post that I did, and it was to my Facebook page, and it was all around the concept of the rat race. Years ago, I played this game with some family members and friends, and it was Robert Kiyosaki's the Rich Dad Poor Dad author's game, and I think it was called Rat Race or something like that. I think it was called Rat Race. Anyway, but today or yesterday rather, I was thinking about all of the things around the rat race, different things that define being in that rat race. And, quite a few things kind of hit me pretty profound because I didn't really think about it until I took time to actually think about it. And so I started making some posts to my Facebook timeline. And, it was actually quite interesting because I was getting a lot of feedback, a lot of likes, a lot of activity around them. And what I realized is that a lot of people were relating to the things that I was posting. Let me read a few of them to you. Okay, the rat race. Having to combine your vacation time, sick leave time, paid time off time to have enough time to experience the feeling of freedom. The rat race. Let me read another one. The rat race. Okay, here's a statement, from the rat race. I don't have time to live. I'm busy trying to hold things together. Wow, can you relate to that? Okay, another one. The rat race. Having to choose between burying a loved one or working to pick up that check because you really can't afford to attend their funeral and jeopardize your livelihood. The rat race. Being on a vacation while your job calls you to have you troubleshoot an issue back at the office while you're still on vacation. Hmm. How many could relate to that? The rat race. Working 8 plus, 16 plus hours per day instead of 2. The rat race. Having to be the first one to open your business up and the last one to leave to make it all work. Okay, now why am I reading all of these things? Why am I talking about all of this stuff? Well, I'm talking about all of this stuff mainly because I can relate to everything in there that I wrote. You know, before I made a choice, because this is what it is, before I made a choice to step away from the rat race, there are quite a few things that I experienced in life. The funeral thing, working 20 plus hours per day, literally. I was a workaholic. Um, not participating or being a part of my kids growing. Even though I was there because I, have had my own business for a while now, um, but not seeing them grow in the midst of doing my business because I was so focused on making a sale, closing a contract, getting money coming in the door, all of these things that were contingent upon a client, contingent upon a sale of a job where I had to go and now actually do something else inside of that instead of providing, a service, providing a platform in order to free my client up, where there was a training module already in place to not only build their leadership, but to build their knowledge of what it is that they needed to do from the marketing standpoint, media standpoint, the whole 9 yards. And I started thinking, even though I've got my own business, I own my own business, there's something wrong with this model because I'm working harder in my business, working longer hours in my business than I would if I was going out to a 9 to 5 job. Now, granted, the payoff is a lot better, working in my business. However, the trade in the hours where, that 9 to 5, okay, I go punch a clock and then I'm done in my business. Well, it's up to me to move that forward. Okay, so all of that said, you know, there's a certain level of slavery that we have in our lives when we either own our own business and we are tied to it, like that scenario where you heard me read the person goes in, they're the first one in and the last one out. How much time do they spend with their family? How much time do they actually have living their life? How much time do you actually have living your life? If you're working your own business, then you pretty much have to wear all the hats until you can get it up and running enough to hire people on. And then you've got to manage people. And you've got to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. You know, there's a lot of things that are involved in that in order to keep that business successful, alive, and afloat. And then if you derive a salary from it, well, that's a whole other thing. You know, many businesses, the owners don't derive a salary right off the bat. It takes a while to happen. And if they are able to get that salary coming in from that business, it's because they're busting their butt every day. And I'm not talking about an 8 hour day. I'm talking 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, depending on just exactly how deep you are into that grind. I got sick of being in that grind. And for me, what happened was, I almost died, several months ago. And that was a turning point for me because I realized, you know what? I almost checked out of here and I would not have gotten accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish in life. And all of that, I was stuck inside of that rat race. And I didn't want that. I didn't want my kids growing up not ever knowing their father. And so I prayed. I said, Father, I talked to God, right? I said, Father, if you let me live, I will change quite a few things around, you know. And he did let me live, and I praise him for it every day. And here are some of the things that I changed around. Okay, one is that I realized that I had to start taking hold of my life and living it. I've spent so many years without actually living my life. And I know that I'm not the only person in this boat. I know that there is somebody right now, you probably right now watching this are relating to what I'm saying because you know what that grind feels like. You know what it feels like to put your blood, sweat, and tears in something and then to get back a very small return on that investment, especially in comparison to what you should be getting back when you're sacrificing your time, your life, your livelihood, your love, all of that in order to make this thing work for the benefit of your family, for the benefit of your livelihood. You aren't able to access your livelihood or your life because you're there busy working, opening up your business and closing your business. Now, if you are intelligent enough and have enough capital infused into your business to where you're able to immediately put the staff in place in order to make it work, you still have to drive that business in order to get the cash flow going in for that business to start turning a profit and not being an albatross across your neck. Now, I'm not saying that all businesses are like that, so don't get me wrong in that statement. There are many businesses out there, and the business that I have, the media planning, it is lucrative. It can be very lucrative. And then depending on, what clientele you're going after, yeah, you can make a serious income with it. However, there is a sacrifice to it, and so if you don't do it right, which I have been guilty of as not doing it right, then there's a big price to pay. Okay, so all of that said, what are you doing to get out of the rat race? Do you recognize that you are or are not in the rat race? And if you do recognize that you're in the rat race, what are you doing to get out of the rat race? Or are you comfortable in the rat race and you're quite fine with it? What is it? I of course don't want to get on a soapbox here, but there were just these things that I wanted to get out in this blog post to just talk about the reality of what's going on in many people's lives, maybe your life. If any of that, if you resonate, if you connect with any of the things that I said, and you want a way out of that rat race, you want a way to generate wealth, that is not contingent upon you doing a 9 to 5 or you selling your hours or you enslaving yourself. If you want a way out of that rat race where you can actually think about what is it that you would do If all of your needs were met, all of your wants were met, you didn't have need for any money, you didn't have need for any resources or anything like that, what would you do with your time? That was a question that I asked at the end of that whole rat race scenario. The postings that I was doing is that if you had all that you needed, what would your life look like? What would you be doing then? Unfortunately, most of us do not know because we haven't spent any time whatsoever outside of the rat race in order to have the time and the decompression, the pressure off to think about what would we want to do if we didn't have to be at the grind every single day. Some of us are at it 6, 7 days a week. It's too much. So what would you do? And if you haven't thought about that, that is a clear sign that you are stuck deep, heavy into the rat race, and you may want to get out. If you do want to get out, if you do want to know what you can do to move yourself out of the rat race and into the place that you were always meant to be, inside of freedom, inside of liberation, go ahead, click the link. Click the link below, click the link on the side, click the link that you see and find out more. Find out more information on how you can do what it is that I'm doing. I now am actually enjoying my life. I go places. I just came back from Chicago not too long ago. In another few weeks, I'm going to Denver with my wife, and then in a few weeks after that, we're going to Jamaica, and I'm excited about it because this is the first time in many, many, many years, if not ever, that we have actually said, you know what, we're actually going to live our life and we're going to enjoy every minute of it, every moment of our life we're going to enjoy. And so that's why we got involved in this business right here, in order to take back our freedom and to live the life that we were destined to live. If that is attractive to you, go ahead, click the link below, because I'm telling you, there's a community of us who are on that trek. This is the Take My Life Back movement year. Okay, so if you want to take your life back, go ahead, click the link below. And I look forward to talking to you, to sharing with you the information that we have, and also to seeing you take your freedom back in your life. It's really important to me. I'll leave you with this. When I think of that question, all the needs met, no need for money and all of that because everything's taken care of, what would I be doing? What would fulfill my life? And what would fulfill my life is helping others get to that place in their life where they can live and fulfill their purpose. That's what it's about for me. I almost didn't have that opportunity. I almost was out of here at the beginning of this year. And it was an 8-month process of going through the turmoil, of seeing myself dying in front of my eyes, my wife watching me, slip away. And by the grace of God, I'm still here. And I thought, you know what? I really need to get about my business of making a difference in people's lives. I almost didn't have that chance. I almost didn't have the chance to be able to talk to you right now like I'm talking to you right now, in order to give you the opportunity to go ahead and to click the link and to get involved in something that can turn your life around so that you can start doing what it is that you've always been meant to do. I almost didn't get that chance. And I said, you know what? If I get another chance, I'm going to take that chance and do what it is that I was put here to do. I'm pretty clear on it now. My purpose here is to help others. My purpose here is definitely to glorify God. My purpose here is to reflect His love on other people. That's what it's all about. And so many of us, we cannot see straight because there's so much pressure on us. Life's pressure is on us, just clamping down. And it doesn't allow us to be able to say, okay, wait a minute, let me kind of stop everything for a moment so I could just think. So I can get my bearings. Disorientation, we're disoriented because we're being hit by so many things. Like you're being hit every single day by so many things. So many things are just hitting you, and you cannot get clarity. I'm here to give you clarity. I'm here to tell you that there is a better way for your life. You do not have to continue to go through through that rat race every day, the same thing, nothing ever changes, and you continue to spiral down in your life to where you no longer feel like you're living life. There is more to life than that. You were not designed to be a slave, and that's what you are. If you are chained to a job, to a 9 to 5, that is slavery. Now, I don't know if you believe in the Bible or not. I don't know if you read the scriptures or not, but there was one pastor that said something that was so profound to me. And I haven't gone for the job thing for many years, but he said something, and I'm telling you, when he said it, I thought, oh my gosh, you know what? I haven't seen that myself. And he said, nowhere in the scripture do you find where it says, go get a job. Nowhere in scripture do you see where it says, go get a job. But yet, and still, we go to get that job because we're afraid that if we step out into the unknown, that we will fall without a safety net. It's an understandable fear, but let me leave you with this. If you don't step out on what it is that you were meant to do, designed to do, then you will surely not do it. You will surely not get it done. You will surely not fulfill your purpose here. It will be impossible for you to because you're not stepping out. So, you know that scenario, out of the frying pan into the fire? Folks never go beyond that and say, but wait a minute. If I stay in the frying pan that is over the fire, I will surely die. They never stop to think about that. All they think about is the fear of not jumping out. The fear of jumping out of the frying pan and landing in the fire. The fear keeps them inside of definite death. The frying pan will kill you. It will kill you because it's designed to. And your only chance is to jump out of the frying pan because you may miss the fire, okay? But trust me, if you never jump out of the frying pan, you will die, okay? You will not live. If you jump out, though, you do have a chance of missing the fire. So wouldn't you rather jump with the intent of missing the fire and the potential of missing the fire than to stay in sure death, a definite death sentence? Doesn't it make more sense for you to step out on faith, to take that leap and to say, you know what, I've got to take my chances because if I don't, I will die here. And death is a different thing than people think about. There's a lot of us that are walking dead. We're the walking dead because our life has ceased to have meaning. Okay? It ceased to have meaning. And that's because we have shut down everything that makes us who we are in order to fit into this cubicle, this box. We shove ourselves into these boxes of expectations that society has on us in order to make us drones and workers. We shut everything down in us that makes us who we are in order to fit inside of a cubicle that we were never designed to fit into. Never were we designed to fit into somebody's box, but yet we run to that. That is the frying pan, and it is murder to ourselves. So we've got to start thinking and saying, wait a minute. Let me expand. Let me come out of this, what I consider to be a safe zone, which is a death drop. Let me come out of this in order to experience the life that I was destined to live. You were destined to live more than a 9 to 5. You were destined to be. So click the link below. If this has touched you in any way and you want out of the rat race, you want your freedom, You want to live the life that you were designed to live? Click that link because I want to help you. I want to help you live the life that you were destined to live. But I can't do that if you don't jump out of that frying pan. None of us can. So click the link below. I'll see you in the